this certainly is a twisty river. This meanders about 12 or 13 miles west, actually empties into the Gulf of Mexico at Bayport. That's a little under 7 miles by land. River itself starts right behind us where you see the mermaid show. That spring is actually the opening of a huge underground river, currently pushing out more than 150 million gallons of water a day to create this river at a constant year-round water temperature of 74 degrees and a water purity at the head of the spring of an incredible 99.8% pure. Now in just a moment you're going to hear a long, long blast of the horn. This is another Coast Guard requirement. It's advising boaters we're coming to a blind bend in the river. Coast Guard requires a 4 to 6 second blast. Captain Don counts very, very slowly. Now I hope this is not an omen, but if you look to the left bank, the very top of that dead tree, those two birds you see sitting there, over here, those two big black birds are black vultures, nature's cleanup crew. Just sitting patiently waiting for Captain Don to make to make a mistake. Another blast of the horn coming up. See these beautiful red berries on these bright green leaves on either side of the boat? That's Florida holly. Up north when you see holly, it's already cold, it's going to snow. Down here when you see holly, just means it's going to be 80 degrees again tomorrow.
Woo! That's why we moved.
As I told you, I'm an ex-New Englander, stressing the X, never, ever, ever, ever going back north. If you were here a month ago, we'd be wading through probably 100 or more kayaks right about now. We're between seasons on the kayaks, which is really the best time for us. We love it. We basically have the river all to ourselves. Coming up on your right, this little island on our right, that lone tree standing there is a cypress tree covered with Spanish moss. Well, okay, if you take a look over here on our left, the dead tree here, the bird sitting there, that's the anhinga, or snake bird. He's an underwater fishing bird, but unlike the duck, he doesn't have any oil glands. So after he goes fishing, he has to sit on a tree for his wings to dry. He's the only man-eating bird we have in this park. Give you $20 for your kayak right now.
I knew you guys were eating your hearts out. You should ditch that thing.
The river right now is almost 2 feet lower than it normally is. Basically, basically we have one track we can follow with the boat. If we get just a couple of feet to the left or right of that track, we get caught up.
We're stuck.
Guess we're gonna be here till it rains. Raise the water level.
Well, I started to tell you the story about Spanish moss on this creek. Legend has it that the early Spanish sailors, having been at sea for years at a time, would climb to the top of cypress trees, just like that one, when they got near land, looking for mermaids. Well, they thought they saw one, but in their haste to get out of the tree, they fell. But their long gray beards got caught in the branches. That became Spanish moss. The end. That's a true story. No, I know it's true. I read it on the internet.
That makes it right.
I don't want you to get nervous or anything, but I'm leaving.
Thank goodness there's not more people and more weight. Oh, look at that. So much for the beautiful clear water.
You know, you really did that nice, Don. You really should have gone through the captain's license one of these days. All right, now I told you the legend about Spanish moss. This is really, really true. Mid-1920s, Henry Ford, always looking for a cheaper and better way of doing things, decided he was going to stuff the seat cushions on the Model A Fords with Spanish moss. So he shipped it up north in wooden boxes. Got up north, took the Spanish moss out of the box, started filling the seats with it, turned the boxes over, They were the perfect size for the base of the seats at the Model A. Absolutely nothing was wasted. Well, unfortunately, well into production, they realized that there's a biting bug that lives inside a Spanish moss called a chigger. Well, that led to the very first automobile recall. Now the horn blast coming up. That's a true story.
Is that how chickens got up north?
I remember, I said, Henry, this just isn't going to work. Now there's going to be another horn blast in just a few minutes. In the meantime, look to the woods on your left and right. This is Mother Nature at her finest. What you're looking at is all natural growth. What you see here today is exactly the way this has been for decades. Try to give the captain a heads up on any boats ahead of us.
I think we're stuck again.